It starts when the goddess of discord, slighted by a wedding invitation she never received, tosses a golden apple onto a divine banquet table. It is inscribed with 3 words, "To the fairest." 3 goddesses claim the prize, and they bribe a young Trojan prince named Paris to choose between them. Paris ignores offers of absolute power and military glory, instead selecting the bribe offered by Aphrodite, the most beautiful woman on earth. That woman is Helen, the wife of the Spartan king Menelaus. Paris travels to Sparta, seduces the queen, and smuggles her, along with a vast treasury of gold, back to the fortress of Troy. This kidnapping acted as the specific trigger for a pre-existing geopolitical trap that had been waiting for a reason to snap shut. Years earlier, Helen's father had forced every Greek warlord to swear the Oath of Tyndareus, a binding legal pact requiring them to unite and violently defend Helen's marriage. When Menelaus invokes this contract, the entire Greek world is legally compelled to go to war. The greatest heroes tried desperately to dodge the draft. Odysseus fakes insanity by sowing his fields with salt until recruiters threaten his infant son. Achilles hides in a royal harem disguised as a woman until he is tricked into revealing his warrior nature by grabbing a sword. The draft evasion fails. Bound by the signatures they had placed years earlier, the greatest armada in history boards their ships and sets sail for Asia Minor. The Greek kings found themselves committed to a 10-year bloodbath over a contract they could not ignore, turning a private grievance into a continental invasion. Upon landing, the invasion immediately stalls. These massive, layered stone blocks represent the ancient walls of Troy, defenses so keen that a direct frontal assault by the Greek coalition was considered suicidal. The Greeks pivot to a strategy of attrition. They spend 9 years avoiding the main city and instead ravage the surrounding countryside, sacking 12 islands and 11 mainland cities to systematically destroy Troy's allied supply chain. In the 10th year, the siege fractures from within. The Greek high commander Agamemnon offends the god Apollo, suffers a plague, and is forced to return his own female captive. To save face, he pulls rank and confiscates a captive woman belonging to his top warrior, Achilles. Furious at the insult to his honor, Achilles withdraws his elite troops from the fighting. This clash of egos paralyzes the entire campaign, proving that the pride of the Greek commanders was a greater threat to their victory than the Trojan army. Without Achilles anchoring the vanguard, the Greek lines crumbled. The Trojans pushed the invaders all the way back to their beach camp, nearly incinerating the entire Greek fleet in the process. Desperate to stop the slaughter, Achilles' companion Patroclus borrows the hero's armor to fake his return to the battlefield. The trick works initially, but Patroclus is eventually cornered and killed by the Trojan champion, Hector. The death of Patroclus ends Achilles' strike. He returns to the battlefield and slaughters Hector. He then violates every law of war by lashing Hector's feet to his chariot. He dragged the corpse through the dirt around the city walls in full view of Hector's horrified family. Achilles' vengeance ensures his own demise. Soon after, Paris fires a poisoned arrow from the walls. Guided by the god Apollo, the arrow strikes Achilles in his one vulnerable spot, the heel, killing him instantly. A decade of bloodshed leaves the greatest champions of both sides dead in the dirt. The war is again paralyzed. Neither side possesses the heroes necessary to finish the fight. The Greeks finally accept that the walls of Troy cannot be broken by force. Odysseus realizes they must manipulate the Trojans into opening the gates themselves. The Greeks construct a massive wooden horse and pretend to abandon the siege. They frame the structure as a sacred offering to the goddess Athena, specifically designed to weaponize Troy's own religious faith against them. Terrified of offending the gods, the Trojans haul the horse inside their city. This single decision bypassed 10 years of perfect military defense in a single afternoon. In the dead of night, the Greeks emerge from the horse and open the gates. They burn Troy to the ground, committing horrific atrocities inside the city's temples and slaughtering the royal family. The gods punish the victors for their desecration. Agamemnon is murdered by his wife upon his return. Ajax is driven to suicide, and Odysseus is condemned to 10 years of wandering the sea. As the city falls, a single Trojan prince named Aeneas escapes. He flees the burning ruins while physically bearing the weight of his elderly father on his back to preserve what remains of the Trojan bloodline. Aeneas navigates his refugees to the Italian peninsula. His descendants would eventually establish a new settlement that grew into the Roman Empire, effectively shifting the center of the ancient world from Greece to Italy. The fall of Troy illustrates how unchecked pride can collapse a superpower. While the war destroyed the original participants, the displacement of the survivors provided the literal foundation for the next dominant civilization.